No one expected the moment to unfold like this. Even the most dedicated armies, those who have followed Jungkook and Taehyung's friendship since their earliest days, were left speechless when the word slipped out. In the middle of his packed solo schedule in the United States, Jungkook made a quiet but emotionally powerful revelation. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't scripted. And it didn't happen in a flashy broadcast or grand interview. It came during an unscripted moment, almost off camera, in a relaxed setting where guards were down and truth had room to breathe. "I just found out," he said, barely above a whisper. The sentence seemed simple, harmless, even. But the weight it carried could be felt immediately, rippling through the room and then outward into the digital world. Fans quickly picked up the clip, sharing it across thousands of accounts. A single question began circulating like wildfire: what did Taehyung hide? That question brought an emotional storm. What had once seemed like a stable, unshakable bond between Jungkook and Taehyung was now under a microscope. The internet began dissecting their recent behavior, especially Taehyung's appearance at a high-profile fashion event in Paris. He looked as poised and polished as always, but a closer look revealed something that couldn't be hidden by designer clothing or confident posture: a distant look in his eyes, and a smile that seemed forced, almost hollow. Then came the next blow, a cryptic social media post from Taehyung. "Sometimes it's easier to fake a smile than to explain why you're not okay." The connection to Jungkook's earlier comment felt too close to be coincidental. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from a mystery to something deeply personal. Fans began piecing things together, drawing emotional connections, theorizing that something long buried had finally surfaced. And just when people thought the emotional stakes couldn't get higher, Jungkook spoke again. In a later interview, he added a sentence that cut even deeper: "I thought he was strong. Turns out he was just trying to look strong." The implication was clear: Jungkook had realized he had overlooked the emotional pain someone close to him had been carrying. His voice, tinged with guilt, revealed the full weight of his self-awareness. He admitted to being caught up in his own life, his own career, and not seeing that his friend had been struggling in silence. Taehyung didn't respond directly, but his next online post, a black and white photo of a night sky with the caption, "There are things I can't say, even to the person I trust the most," only added fuel to the growing storm of speculation. To many, it was obvious who that person was. The bond between the two seemed to be unraveling right before the world's eyes, but instead of anger, the fandom responded with sadness and empathy. Then came an even deeper twist. Some fan accounts claimed that Jungkook had discovered a handwritten letter from Taehyung. An emotional note, they said, detailing feelings of isolation, disappointment, and the pain of being forgotten by someone he once considered his closest friend. "I've changed," Jungkook reportedly said, holding back emotion. And maybe he's right. That single sentence sparked thousands of reactions, with fans urging the two to reconnect, not through online posts or indirect statements, but through honest, private conversation. Amid the emotional whirlwind, rumors began to circulate that Jungkook was planning to fly to Paris to meet Taehyung in person. Some even claimed he canceled part of his US schedule to make it happen. Though nothing was officially confirmed by HYB or any representative, fan hopes soared. Online platforms became flooded with emotional edits, throwback videos, and commentary reflecting on their shared history. Moments once seen as simple friendship now seemed layered with hidden meaning. "This is no longer just about a confession," one cultural commentator said. "It's an emotional earthquake for the BTS fandom." Behind the glitz of global fame and the facade of polished perfection, real emotions were at play: regret, guilt, and a desire to reconnect. The situation reminded everyone how easy it is to overlook someone's inner struggle, even someone you've known for years. Maybe, fans hoped, this would be the moment that brought healing and deeper understanding. But then came a major turning point. Behind the waves of speculation, viral posts, and emotionally charged theories, a stark truth emerged: none of it was real. There was no official confirmation from Jungkook, Taehyung, or HYBE. No concrete evidence pointed to a hidden letter, a secret confession, or emotional tension between the two. What fans believed to be a moment of raw vulnerability was, in fact, a misunderstood quote. Jungkook's "I just found out" wasn't about Taehyung at all. When put in full context, it was about a song from BTS's early discography and how he recently realized its impact on a new generation of fans. But the moment, clipped and shared without that context, took on a life of its own. Fans interpreted it as a sorrowful realization about his relationship with Taehyung. Taehyung's social media posts, meanwhile, were poetic and vague, as many idols' messages often are. They weren't about anyone specific, just reflections meant to connect with fans on a broader level. Yet, those lines were lifted, repurposed, and linked to a narrative that didn't exist. The letter? Pure fiction. A product of fan-made stories that were eventually passed around as though they were insider reports. Unfortunately, emotionally charged misinformation spreads faster than truth. By the time clarifications were issued, most fans had already felt the heartbreak and engaged in debates that divided the community. Some were angry, not at Jungkook or Taehyung, but at the entertainment system that often fails to protect idols from being misinterpreted or emotionally dissected without consent. It's important to draw a line between fan imagination and reality. BTS members, especially Jungkook and Taehyung, have shared over a decade of genuine friendship. There is no public indication that their bond has weakened. In fact, recent interactions, including Taehyung singing along to Jungkook's solo during a live stream and Jungkook speaking fondly of Taehyung in interviews, show continued mutual respect and affection. This incident serves as a powerful reminder: in the digital era, even small phrases can be twisted into entire sagas. While creativity is a beautiful part of fandom culture, it becomes dangerous when fiction is mistaken for fact. The emotional damage from false narratives can be just as harmful as malicious rumors. In the end, the truth is simple. Jungkook and Taehyung are still close. There was no dramatic falling out, no devastating letter, no heartbreaking confession. Just two friends, growing individually in their careers, while still holding space for each other as they always have. So before we believe the next viral post or dramatic theory, we should pause and ask, is this really happening, or is it just a story that feels real because we want it to be? As fans, our role is not just to support our idols but to protect them from the dangers of misinformation, even when it comes wrapped in emotional packaging. Sometimes, what hurts idols the most isn't hate, it's the pressure of being misinterpreted by the ones who love them the most.